Barefoot shoes are great for strengthening your ankles and improving your balance, but you also might be wondering, without all that extra cushion and support, won't my feet, knees, and hips start hurting while I'm walking? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how to properly walk in barefoot shoes so you can avoid that foot, knee, and hip pain. Hey, what's going on? Keith Nunez here, Doctor of Physical Therapy. You know, for most of our lives, we've been wearing these very cushiony and supportive shoes, but if you're going to try and walk in barefoot shoes without all that extra padding, then you can't walk the same way that you did when you had all that extra padding. So here are the 3 tips to properly walk in barefoot shoes. Number 1, walk with shorter steps. Walking with long steps forces you to come down harder on your heels, and that force gets transferred up the chain to the knees and the hips. Since our old shoes had all this extra cushion, we didn't mind taking those super long strides and slamming down on our heels because we couldn't feel it. With barefoot shoes, taking these shorter steps is going to help you reduce the amount of force that's going through your feet, hips, and knees. Now, you may have to take more steps to get to where you gotta go, but if you're counting your steps each day, you might break a new record. Tip number 2, try to walk smoothly and silently. Instead of pounding your heels down and letting your feet slap the floor, controlling each step is going to help you with shock absorption. As far as landing with your heel, try to imagine landing like a plane. A plane lands smoothly by approaching the ground at an angle nearly parallel to it so that when it touches, there's no harsh impact. Try to do the same thing with landing with your heel. The next part is to try to roll smoothly from your heels to your toes. Don't let it just slap down, try to control it. Whenever we take a step, our feet go from a supinated or arched position to a pronated or flattened position. And our ankles help control that flattening of our arch, which aids in shock absorption. Maybe a simple way to think about this is to try to walk as silently as possible. So land that heel smoothly like a plane, and then roll nice and smooth onto your toes. And tip number 3 is to gradually build up the amount of walking or running you do in your barefoot shoes. All these things have to take practice, and your muscles also have to get used to doing it. So gradually ramping up the amount of time you spend in your barefoot shoes is going to allow your muscles to get stronger, and at the same time help you prevent some of that ankle, foot, hip, and knee pain. The way I see it, it's kind of like working out. You know, if you've never worked out in your life and then you start going to the gym 2-3 hours every single day, you're gonna get sore. So gradually ramping up is always a good thing. So a way to keep track of things is you could either measure the distance walked, how many steps you've taken, or even just the amount of time you spend in the day wearing your barefoot shoes. And maybe every few days or week, just add a little bit more until you reach your goal. Walking properly and with more control is definitely going to help reduce some of the stress to your ankle and feet and hips and knees. But at the same time, having stronger and more flexible ankles is definitely going to help you out. So check out this video on some more tips on how to properly transition from regular shoes into barefoot shoes, and I'll see you in the next video.